What's good? Dash here. So today I'm going to be showing you how to build a stronger, bigger chest with just your body weight alone. But you might need a shit ton of yoga blocks. I'll explain this. This is all I had, but it'll all make sense later on. I promise you, you won't need this many blocks, but you will need potentially a band if you do have so. But if you don't worry. All right. Yeah, I know a lot of yoga blocks, but we won't be using them. Well, you won't be using them. I will. Anyways, so when it comes to the body weight training side of things as well, I used to be just purely like a bodybuilder, just using weights, thinking that was the only way to build muscle as well as strength. But during COVID, I guess I came to realize when the gyms were closed, I moved over to calisthenics, using my body weight, using the gymnastic rings, and I couldn't believe how strong I got. Not only that, I started to move so much better than I did when I was just shifting heavy weight and just purely thinking that was the only way to build muscle. And it was crazy. It was actually crazy to see that when I did eventually, when the gyms did open and I finally went back to the gym, and I was just curious to see how much I could shift, and I could actually move more weight than I could. Bear in mind, it'd been probably over a year since I last even touched a weight, and I was able to shift more weight than I did when I was bodybuilding. I couldn't believe it, and it was just from the use of body weight as well as certain kind of modifications that you tend to use just allow it to build the muscle that you need and of course build that strength you need. So who's going to benefit from this? So if you're literally on the go constantly and you're thinking, I don't have time to go to the gym, I literally only have about 20 minutes, this is exactly for you. Okay, you can do this from home. You literally don't need a shit ton of yoga blocks, and you can do this from the sofa, floor, or we might need some books even if you don't have yoga blocks. And if you don't have a band, again, I'm going to show you some modifications that you can use regardless if you're a beginner or if someone who is advanced. Whether you're training at the gym or whether you're training at home, warm-ups are important. Please do not skip them, especially when it comes to the joint side of things. We want to make sure we look after them rather than just jumping straight in and hoping for the best, okay? So especially when it comes to push-ups, we do tend to load our wrists up a fair bit as well, so we want to make sure we prepare them. And secondly, if you had a long day at work and you've just had rounded shoulders and all of a sudden you just go in hard on your chest, first thing's going to happen, you're going to get an even tighter chest. So we do want to stretch them out, okay? So warm up. Again, it doesn't have to take half an hour or anything like that. It can literally just be a few minutes, okay? But we're going to start off with the wrist, then we'll work out the shoulder joint, and then we'll work on stretching the chest before we move on to the main workout, okay? So all we're going to do, place your hands flat on the ground, and all we're going to be doing is just leaning forward and back, just applying a little bit of pressure onto those wrists, especially when it comes to some of the exercise I'm going to be showing you. The wrist might just take a bit more of a load than normal push-ups that you're used to. And then I'll start doing some wrist circles, just doing some big circles, as big as you possibly can without lifting the palms off the ground, and making sure you keep those elbows locked out and going the other way. Good. I'm going to stretch out the back of the wrists as well. So the palms, back of the palms on the floor, and just rocking from side to side. Feel that nice stretch. It doesn't have to rock. You don't have to shift your weight too much. You just want to feel a gentle stretch on the back of your palms. Now fingers facing out, and same concept. You just want to shift your weight side to side, keeping those elbows locked out. And if during that little warm-up with the wrist was a bit uncomfortable, just follow this video here, follow the routine, and you'll be able to strengthen your wrists, make sure you get them nice and strong, especially start advancing with some of the skills when it comes to calisthenics or bodyweight training. Next up, we're going to be coming into all fours, just warming up the spine with cat-cows, okay? So you want your hips above your knees, wrists under your shoulders, and you want to think about, as you arch your lower back, you want to think about bringing your gaze up to the ceiling, and then you're going to reverse it, tucking the tailbone in, tucking the chin in, and again looking up, arching. We're just prepping the spine, making sure the whole body is aware with some of the movements that we do. Okay, just one more, bringing it down. Okay, now We're going to lower ourselves down. We're going to be stretching out the chest, okay? So I'm going to show you both sides, but I'm going to show you the side I'm facing at the moment. What you want to think about is bringing your hand about 90 degrees from you, okay? So elbow and shoulder are in line, and you've got a 90-degree bend in your elbow, okay? From here, right hand will, of course, if we be the opposite if you're doing the other way around. But in this case, you're going to use your right hand to push your whole body across to the other side. You want to think about bringing your toe to the other side to try and touch the floor. That's the goal. If you can't, that's okay. But if you can, great. From here, with your knee, I want you to think about trying to drive that knee to the back wall. Okay, you're going to feel a nice stretch between your pec and your shoulder. And if you want a deeper stretch here, just walk that hand out a bit more. You can feel a deeper stretch here. And if you want an even deeper stretch, with the hand that's supporting, push into it, keeping the head on the floor, and you feel a bit more of a stretch. Right, I'll show you the other side. Again, 90 degrees. Other hand pushes the body over to the other side. Toe touches the floor. Knee drives backwards, so you feel more of a stretch. If you want a deeper stretch, walk the hand out a bit more. And with the left hand, push into the ground for a deeper stretch to really open up that chest. Good. Now coming back to center, bringing yourself back up. Final one, just put your hands out, palms facing up, try and touch your shoulders, do nice big circles here. And the other way. Just preparing the whole shoulder, making sure they're involved with this movement as well. It isn't just the chest that we'll be targeting, but your shoulders as well as your, especially your triceps, will be involved in this. Magic. All right, let's get into this. So I want to just prep the chest up a little bit more. So we're going to do some very gentle push-ups just to kind of allow the mind to just know exactly what we're going to be doing. So coming into a push-up position. Here we don't want to sag the lower back. Really think about engaging the core. When your shoulders aren't away from your ears, you want to really think about protracting the shoulder blades. So what that basically means, imagine your shoulder blades on your back. If they're close to each other, that's called retraction. So your shoulders are back. You want to think about separating those shoulder blades as much and far apart as possible. That way it looks like your upper back is kind of rounding at the moment. Not the whole back, just your upper back, okay? That's with it. Okay, let's just perform some push-ups, chin to the ground, bring it up. Ground, bring it up. Chin to the ground, bring it up. Ground, bring it up. Cool. So hopefully now we've just got a bit of blood flowing through the muscles, and now we're gonna be ready for the main workout. So exercise number 1, banded push-ups, okay? With a band, what we're going to be doing is popping it around us and using this as force. Of course, the thicker the band, the harder it is. The thinner the band, the easier it is. However, if you don't have a band and you want to obviously continue with the first progression, what we're going to be working on is tempo, the speed at which you do the push-up, okay? We really don't understand and don't actually realize just how much speed of the exercise has on muscle growth, okay? We want to think about time under tension, the time at which you are performing the exercise and the tension in which you are putting the muscle in that movement as well. So I'm going to show you the example of time under tension. Move those blocks out of the way. So if you imagine, people tend to do push-ups like this, very, very quick, okay? But no, I'm going to get you, again, for positioning, wrist underneath your shoulders, core engaged. You want to think about controlling the push-up down, speed, holding, coming back up, squeezing the chest at the top, okay? Remember, we're wanting to make sure what the exercise is for, and you're actually using those muscles. So coming down, controlling, pushing up, and squeezing at the top. So this is time under tension. Imagine the slower you go, think 3 to 4 seconds down, holding at the bottom, pushing back up, protracting those shoulder blades. Again, down, back up. So I guarantee you try and do 10 push-ups very, very quick, and you try and do 10 of those, they're going to feel very, very different, and you're going to realize that chest is working so much harder in those 10 slow tempo push-ups. Now, again, that was still exercise 1. That's if you don't have a band. If you do have a band, I want you to think about just propping your hands in the loop, and with your thumb, you're going to just almost loop your finger around so you got a nice good grip. With this, it goes behind you. It's going to go behind your upper back, okay? Not your lower back, upper back, okay? From here, hands come onto the ground. And here, we're going to do exactly the same. Push-ups. Pushing that band away as you come up. As you can imagine, that resistance that you've got to push against is providing some force that you have to push against and some resistance. Squeeze that chest at the top, coming down, bringing it up, down, squeeze at the top, down, bringing it up. Okay, so for the sets and reps, I'm going to leave a table at the end which you can follow. Will give you a good indication of where and how much you should be feeling this, and exactly if you should be going to failure, or if we kind of want to go for a certain amount of effort. Everything will be left for you. Exercise number 2, hand elevated push-ups. So for this, you will need some yoga blocks, but if you don't have yoga blocks, think about just using some books, all right? Or if you've got like a little small box, stools, so long as they're about the same height, that'll be good, all right? But ideally, you want something that you can actually progress with. So books are really good because you can just stack one another. And of course, as you progress, just another book, another book. With blocks as well, I'm going to start off with just one. And of course, as I progress, I can add another one on each of them. So as you can imagine, when it comes to the push-up side of things, you are restricted by this range of motion. And let me just show you this first. You're restricted by as far as your chest can go to the ground. You can't go any further than this, all right? So what we actually want to do with the blocks is going to provide a little bit more range for our chest to go deeper. From here, see how much further we can go? And then pushing up, down, pushing up. That way I have so much more range to stretch out that chest, and that's going to allow us to really stretch out the muscle, really allow us to build that strength and build that muscle that we're after to for a bigger chest. So think about it. Everything engaged, doing exactly the same, controlled movements, nothing. I rather have quality over quantity in this case. Coming down, stretch out the chest, up and squeeze, down, stretch out the chest, up, squeeze. Again, remember that protraction. Don't want to be here. This is retracted shoulder blades. The more you protract, the better form you have. And of course, we can really target that chest here. Down, up, squeeze that chest. Good. Now, going to take things a little further, go a little bit deeper. We can do so. And that's what's good about books, because you can do the same. Think about the depth at which I can go now. Down, so much deeper, stretching at that chest. Pushing up, down, pushing up, down, trying to go as low. Going to have that pause at the bottom to stretch the chest, push and squeeze at the top. Okay. So again, I'll leave all the number of sets and how many repetitions to go for at the end of the video. Exercise 3, feet elevated push-ups. Okay, so you don't actually need a ton of yoga blocks. This is all I have. I'm in Lombok, and this shala is just full of, as you can imagine, yoga blocks and no stools or anything like that. So if you're at home, use the sofa. If you've got a chair, pop your feet on there. Okay, so we don't want it too high. You want to think about the height of a chair, and that would be a really good place to be. So when it comes to positioning and what the muscles I want you to be cautious of when it comes to here is not arching that lower back, okay? Really want to make sure the core is engaged by keeping the ribs tucked in, and you want to think about engaging the core and then also engaging your glutes as well, okay? So positioning will be slightly different to when you're on the flat on the ground, because Now you'll notice that because we're targeting the upper chest, you're gonna have a slight lean in your push-up, okay? So let's wish me luck here. Let's hope this doesn't topple. There we go. All right, so as I mentioned, you're gonna have a slight lean in the starting position, okay? Again, don't arch your back. I don't want any of this, none of this. No crappy, poor quality push-ups. I want it to be core engaged, glutes engaged, everything tight, protraction of the shoulders, shoulder blades there, and then coming down, pushing up, coming down, pushing up. Again, make sure, again, we want quality here, everything engaged, coming down, stretching the chest, pushing up. Again, you're gonna feel in the shoulders, you're gonna feel in the arms, as well as the chest. Really think about squeezing at the top, pushing into the palms, pushing yourself up, really holding at the top as well as the bottom. So as you know, I'm really emphasizing quality here, okay? I know you probably have to bang out as many reps as possible when it comes to this, but you're just going to be working the wrong areas. And again, when you want to think about the bench press, no one's doing it like this. I mean, some people are, but it is literally about control of the weight down as well as you pushing it up, okay? So same principles, time and attention, control the movement. Think about the muscles that are involved in it and making sure that the spine is protected. Again, what I love about bodyweight training is that you're not just working a specific area of the isolating the chest here. We are thinking about shoulders, triceps, core, glutes, everything is involved. This is what I love about it, because it's a whole body movement in that sense. All right, so let's move on to the next exercise. So exercise number 4, we are going for dips. As I mentioned, you do not need a ton of yoga blocks, but if you do have them and you don't have a chair or stools hanging around at home, you might be having to do this as well. But this is all I have. Again, like I said, in Lombok, in a shala, with abundance of yoga blocks. So I'm going to show you dips, which is a beautiful and amazing exercise to really hit that lower pec, okay? I want to make sure that you know exactly how to do them and making sure that you're not just hitting those triceps, which a lot of people tend to do, okay? Especially with the way you're doing it. Oh my God, that's so unstable. So do not do this at home, please. Like, none of this business, okay? Make sure you've got a solid chair. If it's a metal chair, even better. But if it's solid and it's not shaking around as much as these yoga blocks are, you're good, all right? But again, you can do this on, if you've got 2 tables as well, really, really good. If you can do it on of course, if you've got something outside, if you actually have dip bars at home, I hope you do. I mean, this will save this business. You're in a good place. Anyways, I digress. So when it comes to dip side of things, we want to make sure that we do have a slight lean forward, okay? It's not all about leaning back, which I see a lot of people doing stuff like this. Oh my God, this is so wobbly. They're doing stuff like this, where it's all it's all triceps here. We don't want that, okay? I actually want you to think about having your almost like you're rounding your upper back, chest kind of rounded here as well. And you want to think about coming down, leaning forward, feeling that stretch in the chest, also in the shoulders, pushing up, down, pushing up, down. Really feel that stretch in the chest, coming all the way back up. Okay, now if you can't do, I'm surprised I did that, I'm so happy. And when it comes to if you can't do dips and you're struggling, you can use a band here, okay? What you're gonna wanna do is place the band in between the yoga blocks in this case, and you wanna make sure you have some sort of support. So if you're using the chair, again, one thing you can do is just wrap it around one hand, and of course, wrap it around the other, but make sure one side has a bit more grip than the other. And then you can start to put your knees into this. I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try anyway. But you wanna think about coming down, pushing up, down, up, down, pushing up, okay? So again, chair, solid tables, nothing wobbly, really good place to be, but it will really help hit that lower pec. So we've hit the upper pec, mid pec with the push-ups. Now hitting that lower pec. Really important one for you, that building that mass that you were after, give you that volume that a lot of people are after as well. Do not neglect dips. Best one for them. And there you have it, 4 very straightforward exercises. Again, right here, I'm going to leave all the sets and reps that you need to go for. It's going to be very, very straightforward. I get it. We're all busy. And I normally, when the first thing that happens, when we're all busy, first thing to go out the window is our training. All right. So really just know that this doesn't take a ton of time. All right. If you enjoyed that, please subscribe, please like, please comment. Honestly, very, very grateful for you to actually just watch this video. Please share it with someone who might need it, want to start their journey. But until next time, peace.